Good afternoon from Sacred Space at Titania's Realm. It's 2:30 p.m. We got cut off when I went to show you my yummy chips. So here we are, part 2. On we go, and we're up to 13th of August 2020. I'm not feeling well today, bad chest, overdid the activity yesterday. So here are some photos of Bo and Charlie. And they actually look so gorgeous and they're so happy together. I mean, you often hear Charlie still in recent months saying his name, which was astonishing because she never used to say his name when he was alive, and it only started in recent months. So it's a bit weird, people of Earth, but she must miss him terribly. They were good friends. My friend Jared wrote, "Hope you're wearing a mask while sanding. Breathing in fine resin particle dust won't be doing you any favours. Not wearing a mask but using lots of water while sanding to keep the fine dust down, but probably should wear a mask anyway, especially as I am a mouth breather when I get tired." Oh, Tanya. But I did buy a respirator, but then I found out it wasn't good quality enough because I was still getting affected when I worked with PowerShell. So I have to buy a top of the range Wazza respirator if I'm ever going to go into full-blown production working with Shell, because it's a killer, people of Earth. An absolute bloody killer. So now my computer's done this little typical flibbity gibbet it does. Right, here we are. Sitting in my sacred space garden. Quite fat, look quite blotchy and terrible there. Eyes are all swollen and puffy and fuck. But anyway, look, here's the thing, right? I survived it. I'm now surviving CPAP treatment. So I'm just soldiering on every day in every way, hoping to get better and better and bloody better. Did I mention better? Betterer? It's ridiculous, people, bro. It's absolutely ridiculous. But anyway, I keep trying. Now, why is that not scrolling down? Interesting. 13th of August 2019, 2:11 p.m. I just finished repotting all the water lilies. Well, they're due again soon too. I'll wait till early spring this time, I think, which is next month. Big job, utterly exhausted, but the plants can thrive again, and perhaps this summer there will be flowers. The healthiest were the pink night flowering ones. I think they will definitely strut their stuff this season. I put cow manure in the bottom, then clay soil from my garden, then coarse sand that Jared brought over for me yesterday. Woot! Then piled all the stones and glass pebbles on top. That'll stop the goldfish from tearing everything apart, I hope. I might have a rest for a bit now, then take Mr. Beauregard for his constitutional, if I can summon up a fourth wind. And it's not scrolling again. Why is it not scrolling? I don't know why. 13th of August 2018. Bit of a blurry photo of me and the bow having cuddles, but I am in a pissing, boiling, fierce, supercharged rage today, down low in my guts. Interesting. My mouse isn't working. Does that mean I need a new battery, or is it just being weird? I was lying in my hammock and felt chilled to the bone, even though it is a lovely sunny day. So I went and had a hot shower, washed my greasy hair, am now dressed a bit warmer and am back in the hammock. I have devoured leftover tagine. My angry gut demanded food like a berserker taken to Valhalla by the Valkyries. Hopefully my body digests it and does not give me yet another GERD attack. I'm taking Nyzac for the past 3 days. Maybe that is contributing to my rage. My body has fought for survival since early infancy, even in utero. Fuck, but I am strong, indomitable, powerful. Also getting frail, exhausted, and more vulnerable. No wonder my gut is fighting me. The gut is like a second brain. It appears to be taking over. Anyway, not in pain, just weak and thought disordered and emotionally, furiously, fiercely wondrous. My Crystal and my Jared and my Harvey are coming later. I shall enjoy their company. Time with my beloveds is very precious. Thanks for the call, Nigel. Love you too. Just for today, Mama T is holding on and letting go simultaneously. But I never let go of my true loves. You know who you are. Smiley face. 13th of August 2017. The veil has been thin lately. I have been feeling fragile, even shredded, under attack, but this time from unseen forces. No harm has come to me, but an overwhelming sense of teetering on the brink of a cliff like a lemming. Fear is a contagion, and it seeps deep into the soul. I will not let fear and other people's willingness to destroy our planet steal from my joy quotient. So I went to bed last night, dizzy, exhausted and weak, and read Psalm 91 to cast out the demons of hell from my home and aura. I feel better. My back is still aching and my lungs still squeezing, but my mind is crystal clear and my awareness is heightened and honed. Look out, mofos. The Tanya is riding high. And then I wrote this comment, which I don't know what the meme that was attached to it is because it's not there, but I wrote, and I loved them well. Monstrous cowards, psychopaths, narcopaths, and weaklings. Next. My laptop has some weird display on it that I can't get rid of. It says there are no viruses. I've managed to use super anti-spyware. Got rid of only 11 malware. Screen still unreadable. So now resetting the laptop. I hope it works. Otherwise the thing is not really usable. Oh well, such is life. My book is on a flash drive, thank God. So all is not yet lost. I found this note to myself I had written while volunteering at the Logan Art Gallery. It was amongst the beads, etc. I've been working on this evening. It is interesting as I had been watching Paranormal Survivor all evening. Even in death, my mother must not win over me. She and the Gila Terry Buck Davidson franchise robbed me of enough. Filthy animals that they were and still are, those still living. By the gods. I hope karma really, really gets them in the end. March 2001. Poem written at the Logan Art Gallery today before seeing the chief creep at Garden City. It's not really a poem, it's just kind of a bit of prose. My relationship with my mother is a wound that can never heal. The calluses are crusty and are frequently picked at by the misbegotten interferences of herself and her minions. Or should have called them flying monkeys, because that's the correct term in psychology with a narcissist, as they always have flying monkeys to do their filth and their rot to other people with. But anyway. But as quickly as she plucks at my psyche, I replace the fragments of my impenetrable wall. I will not allow her to destroy me or my children. She must not win over me. This is how deeply traumatized and living under constant threat I was still back in March 2001. I didn't escape that house until September 2001, end of September or early October then, because it was after the 9/11 that I realised I'm being terrorised on a daily basis in my own fucking home. Or had been prior to that at Waterford West as well. So I realised, I thought, I'm just sitting here like a sitting fucking duck. It's time I got out from under these people's evil fucking hold over me. That house in Logan Lee, which was a lie too, another deception. Anyway, on we go. I've had my former rabbi very much on my mind today. I wonder how the members of the Habibi Club are doing these days. They were lovely, decent, kind and honourable men who supported me as a Jew and as a woman, especially after the hellish debacle of Beit Knesset days, years. I had a call recently asking me to return to Beit Knesset as they hoped to merge with BPJC. Just have to roll my eyes at that one. They assure me that the evildoers of the past have either died or atrophied, and it is safe for me to come back. They know nothing of human nature then. The garment of evil is easily masked by a fresh new face or a new organisation, a new moniker and a new ideology. As King Solomon used to quip, there is nothing new under the sun. My tallit smells musty and ancient as my once joyous zealotry that was smothered by ancient moribund hatred, betrayals, and sexual, emotional, physical abuse. My lipstick stained sit lie useless in a tallit bag I lovingly embroidered with my own hands. Penny has clawed at the tapestry as I have always kept it on my couch. Still do. I made this bag back in 1992 and I was still finishing it off when we were on holiday in Harvey Bay when there was that mini tornado, and well, that was astonishing. But it's got little pulls on it when my cat used to catch her claws in it. And well, anyway, here's my tullet. I bought it back in New Zealand when I first converted in 1984, and it's beautiful hand woven woolen one. It's a bit stained from lying around, needs a good wash. That's my tullet, and as a Reformed Jewish woman, I have the right and privilege to pray as an equal as a man up on the bema. So I used to actually be a lay leader for services, was a foundation member of BPJC and Kadima as well. And now it's just dust, 0 calories floating on the wind. But I still keep my tullet, and I'm still a Jew even though I don't really pray, keep many of the rituals up as a Jew anymore. I'm still a Jew, and here where it counts. And it is what it is. Got totally sullied and tainted and destroyed for me by too many evil entities in my community, just saying, including the one that followed me home from the cemetery. So, to those evil ones, fuck them, dead and alive. It just shows you that it doesn't matter where you go, what religion you have, what culture you have, if, you know, if there's evil around, it infiltrates every synagogue, every mosque, every church, every organisation. It's the city crawls with evil. I think it floats up the river, quite frankly. I think it's in our ley lines. Christians I've spoken to that were very devout Christians back in the day, many of my former Christian friends have all drifted off. They said the churches are so full of rotten evil and awful bigoted ideas, and it's just foul. And I said to them, well, I've had the same thing in my religion here in Brisbane. So I don't know if it's just a phenomenon that happened here in Brisbane, because in New Zealand I was embraced and included, and I was treated so beautifully, and my mother was even accepted, welcomed, and here nothing but shit for decades. So there is that. I had to walk away from it in the end. Ergo, well, the dancing on a Friday night I've always done since I started going out dancing, which was about 14 years ago. But I have no qualms about it. That's how I get my spirituality now, bringing out my ancestral witchy side, my wild side, my magical side, dancing wildly, being joyous, and being loved and respected and accepted and recognised for it too, by the way, in the past 12 months. Mind you, I was held in very high regard. As I said, I was a foundation member of 2 temples here in Brisbane. So I was held in high regard, years ago in my own Brisbane Jewish community. But the rot just set in. It just got too much with the stuff that happened with Davidson in 1998 to 2001, and the viciousness with the Kabbalah classes, and it just got too much. I just, very gradually just stepped away from it all. Even then, I didn't really completely step away from it till about 2015, quite frankly, around about the time of my suicide attempt. So nothing like having a near-death experience to realise that you're sitting in a enclave of evil and that people are never going to come any good, and I'm better off out of there, to kind of bring that home to one's psyche. But I love my fellow Jewish people who are indeed devout and honouring and loving people. I'm not saying all Jews are bad, it's just I've met too many bad people in my Jewish community here in Brisbane, and so it kind of just tainted everything, turned everything to shit. But, you know, there are good people in my community here too, people who fought for me and loved me, and I acknowledge that too. But I just don't want to be involved in the community. It's just too ugly what happened to me and my daughters over the decades. So, hell no, Mama T won't go. I did have got nostalgic about, early this year or sometime last year, I actually did consider going down and starting to daven or pray at the Gold Coast Temple. Crossed my mind. But then I saw how they were aggrandising all the fucking politicians and over the COVID epoch, and I thought, no, I can't support that either. It's corrupt and it's evil in my worldview. Can't support it. I won't support it. So as a Jew, I don't have a temple or a synagogue to pray in. And if I want to pray, I have to do it on my own. And as a Jew, that's kind of the loneliest thing in the world, because Jews are supposed to pray in what's called a minyan, which is a core group of 10 people. We're meant to pray as a group for the most beneficial, prayers being heard by God. But I'm okay with it. The Holy One and I have always had kind of a weird relationship, especially since the child sexual abuse when I was a young child, and then reinforced again with the 3 strangulations when I was in my early 30s, or 29, and then early 30s. So the Holy One and I have a relationship based on woman to God, the I and the thou, mano al mano, and if they want me to know something, or they send me messages, they send it in the most miraculous and profound and astonishing ways. So I don't feel I need to belong to a congregation anymore, is what I'm saying. If the Holy One wants to protect me or give me knowledge or support me in any way, then they in all their infinite wisdom do so, and it's quite astounding at times, like the warnings I was gifted from the higher realms about the COVID paradigm were intense, and I knew not to argue with that energy and to obey, and thank God I did. Thank God I did. It was my fellow Jews, by and large, even in Israel, complied to their detriment, just saying. And I did speak out against that, even on Facebook. Try to be the voice in the wilderness, but of course they were so busy demonising and gaslighting and scapegoating me and shadow banning me and being generally evil, that now they've all had to die by their own sword. Am I right? Literally by their own sword. So you see, here's the cosmic irony, is the woman that was persecuted the most for being, a Reformed Jewish convert with a German mother and an ancestral witch, for being poor, for being marginalised, for being attacked and strangled and raped and brutalised by fellow Jewish Israeli men. The woman that was the most vilified in our community has risen up in her own power, rising and shining, while many of those people who were so vicious to me have died or lost children, or worse, are just sitting fucking time bombs themselves. So, as I said back then, at the beginning of this epoch, our graves will all be equal, and it will not discriminate between who's rich and who's poor, and who's more religious and who's less religious, who's atheist, who's, agnostic, who's satanistic, who's pagan. It's affecting all of humanity right across every spectrum of our society, and I still believe it was brought about by something that was not human, because no human would do that. We always protect our progeny, if nothing else. So that's my opinion on that, and I'm sticking to it, people of Earth. And anyway, that was my prayer shawl, the tallit and the sitsits, which are the fringes that hang off it. Penny has clawed at the tapestry as I have always kept it on my couch. Seems an ironically fitting end for a vessel of holiness that was clawed and spat on and besmirched too many times by demonic lowlifes. Hashem, that means God, literally the name. What is your will? The winter of my contentment is unseasonably warm, and paradise is a hellish hound dog that sweats and melts in 2 long summers. Boaz Bloomberg, who was also a very fine man that I admired greatly, was right. Brisbane is only paradise in winter time. I wonder what he would have thought of these wintry days of 30 degrees Celsius. Still, it is marvellous to behold. Let me just scroll back. I want to remind myself what year that was. What year was that? 2017. We were having 30 degrees in winter. It's also astonishing. We had a day this winter in June that was 30 degrees too. It was like, what? But it's been cold since, so it's made up for it, the weather. I'm fairly sure they're interfering in our weather constantly with HAARP too. So it's been a bit odd, but this is the coolest winter that we've had for about 5 years. There were some astonishingly mild winters the last couple of years. In fact, I think last year I only used the heater once, and the year before that I didn't use the heater at all. It was like, what? This is bizarre. August 2016. Waiting for Annette and her friend to deliver the beautiful old wardrobes and Duchess that belonged to her mother-in-law. I am pleased to be given them. I got rid of them in the end. Bad juju there. Was not good. I just need to empty out my old wardrobes. That was my mother's, which I've still got, which is also bad juju, quite frankly, but I can't afford a modern wardrobe. And the one in the spare room, and drag them downstairs so I can put in the ones from Annette. It's going to be a busy few days rearranging my house, Tetris style. I ended up not bothering, just got rid of them in the end. They were stuck under the house for too long because I couldn't get anyone to help me bring them up, lift them up, and I wasn't going to carry them by myself For once I was sensible. So anyway, in the end I just put them out on curbside collection, which was a shame in a way. But the big Duchess mirror also just fell down and shattered everywhere, which I took as a very bad sign, quite frankly. The little things that held it on had rusted away, and so once I lost that beautiful mirror, I thought, well, what's the point in it? The whole point was it had that splendid mirror. But anyway, some things have their own spiritual energies, and it's good to just let it go. I just tried to make kanom croc in a Poffertje pan. What a disaster, lol. Crystal said they were easy to make. Like hell. I tried 2 batches. Threw the first batch out, too much oil. Then the second batch wouldn't set. So I ate the sugary, syrupy goodness out of the pan. Well, at least I tried. And my friend who's actually Thai, Gina, put a like. And Jared wrote, which recipe were you using? And I replied, a YouTube one with a base and a topping. Some Englishman doing it. Should have known better. I think my pan is too small anyway, but it did not set. Sugar started burning and just made a syrupy mess. Jared asked, you had glutinous flour? I said, no, I used plain flour. Is that the issue? Probably. I used Crystal's Kanom croc flour. I think it was just rice flour, but it is written in Thai all over the package, so I assume it is the right one. And he replied, could be. Sounds like the pan got too hot and cooked too quickly too. Oh well, got your sugar hit in the end, lol. Yeah, Kanom croc flour is just rice flour. It's a marketing crock of shit. And he spelled it the Thai way. Lol. Okay, so what is glutinous flour, as that might be where I went wrong? Lol, it is okay. I've got Google. That was it. I did not have any, and it acts as a thickening agent. 13th of August 2014. I went to Irish Murphy's to dance. So glad I did, as it helped heal some of my pain over the death of Robin Williams. Some guy with dreadlocks named Abdullah decided, based on one dance with me, that we were now friends and he could get a bit too grabby. He seemed to not understand how that could really piss me off. In the end, I told him, we are not friends and he doesn't even know me. Then shortly after, I left. I wish Dave hadn't written me off. Oh, Jesus. Well, what I didn't know back then, I soon found out, am I right? At least he was gentle, respectful and affectionate without being dominating. Oh, you have to laugh. Now I need to slap myself. Yes, you do, silly Tanya. As he was so polite but disinterested in me that it sent me into a spiral of lust, depression, angst, and activated my CPTSD, feeling rejected and abandoned. He was the king of doing that and putting me down constantly. My house and my garden and even my vagina. He was just another Emmanuel Meshes, just another fucking psychopath. I wonder when or if I will ever meet a man who is not too dominating or aggressive, or, on the other hand, not too bloody afraid of me and or avoidant. By the gods. It's why I'm still single after 29 and a half years. It's been hard to find anyone that can take on a woman like me, who's courageous and intelligent and has integrity and honour and guts. and so much love, you could drown in my love, but I hold it back. I hold it back because I'm wasting it. I used to waste it on idiots. So I've learnt to hold it back. It is what it is, people of Earth. Now I'm itchy. I hate it when the scar tissue on my back itches. It's like, I don't know why that is. This shit is so difficult for me, but I'm grateful that I have good friends, intelligence, intuition, and I need to trust that I'm making the right choices. Yes, I do. Even back then, I had to learn a lot on the fucking cold face of that ignominy that was going on. Anyway. Woody and Andy, who are from Burst, played beautifully, and the crowd was hopping by the end of the night. Awesome. I'm wondering why I didn't mention Dale, because there's three of them, Woody, Andy and Dale. Dale's the drummer. Did I only mention the two of them? Anyway, they played beautifully and the crowd was hopping by the end of the night. Awesome. Indeed. 8:30 a.m. Woke up after only 4 hours sleep. Grr, back to schluff. Penny's noisy purring will lull me to sleep. 1:11 p.m. Awake again. Saw 1:11 last night too. Angels are by my side, keeping it real. Loving me when fools throw me aside like used meat, hoping I will just slowly rot. They don't know, this just makes me rise and shine in furious vitality to fly another day in the face of loneliness, fear, death, hate, loss. And you can add into that betrayal as well. I had no idea. They treated me so badly. They had no idea how I can rise up again. It's almost astonishing to my own mind, by the way, how I've done that each and every time. By the gods. Although there were a couple of occasions where I almost did die from the intense grief of it all. But here I am, 59 years and 4 months and 1 day. Every time they waste my time or take me down or make me feel ugly and useless and unwanted, I get back up and I manifest more beauty, more mana, more light, swirling up and over it all. Then I land like a dull thud of dirt on a coffin, hollow, empty victory for the lost and loveless. Sighs. Survival is not really living either. It is just the stubborn refusal to give up and to let go of life and life's promise. It is hope for the hopeless and an anchor for the castaway. Tomorrow is another day, but not today, so someday. And if not now, when and how long and why this eternal mind-crippling punishment from gods and men? Curious minds want to know how long I'm going to be forced to stay alone, struggle on my own, probably for the rest of my life, am I right? I keep fighting against it and it's like slamming your head into a brick wall and almost bleeding to death, because at the end of the day, I'm still alone. Always probably will be. So no more slamming my head and fighting against my fate. I'll just smile, accept, dance my wild dance, and go home to the security and stability of having a safe home to live in and a measure of freedom. We are infinite creatures of light and love, but our spirits get tired of the dross of physicality, of pain and suffering, of deep grief, and then the mind and body begin to separate from human existence. One day there are simply no more tomorrows on planet Earth, and we are gratefully transmuted for a timeless void of eternity, for peace and love that is never abused or stolen or brutalized or ignored. One day we all go home to take our place among the stars, to rise and shine, to descend in a shower of sparks and to rise again, to be the flux and flow of the universe, to witness great and magical beings be born and die, forever to be their guide. Nothing lost, nothing gained, just perfect balance. Bloody hell, Suki just thumped the floor so hard, then ran through her tunnel into the litter tray and out again like she was being chased by a fox. Scared the crap out of me. Sally wrote, "Is that Sophie? She does crazy things like that." I said, "No, Crystal's girl rabbit, lol. I am bunny sitting. Socks is currently on my bed, which is pissing off Penny no end, but there is an uneasy truce. He's the only man in my bed, and he is quite smug about it. He's got a big grin on his face. The Advantage arrived this morning. Thank you." Advantage being flea control. Probably killed all my cats too, if the truth be known. All of it. All of it. But what do you do? It's that or they get fleas and ticks and die, you know. It's awful. 13th of August 2013. I just woke up after bad insomnia all night. Too much bloody housework had me ruminating. I went to bed at 3 a.m, dozed and was up hourly. I was hot in bed, doona on and off, tried lying under a sheet, kicked that on and off, then would get cold, so doona was pulled on again. Doona means duvet. Menopause is really draining, if that is my issue, ? I got to thinking this morning around 6 a.m. that it is truly fortunate that I am single. I miss the cuddles and touch of a human in my bed, but for fuck's sake, it would just make me hotter. My bed is so comfortable, and I have both sides to thresh about in. I guess Hashem knows what she, he, or it is doing in keeping me safe and alone, laughing out loud. I have a lovely spare room with a spare queen bed, but it would be awkward to say to a new partner that they have to sleep alone. Especially now that I have the CPAP mask, I'll be like, "Sorry dude, you can't sleep next to me. I look like a fucking rhinoceros beetle, and I probably sound like one too. There's a spare room, off you go." But anyway, it hasn't become a conversation because I've got no one that's shown any real interest, am I right? So it's all good. Mama T's kept safe and alone by the Holy One, her jealous God Yahweh, and however other many gods are determined to keep me safe and alone. So there is that. But you kind of have to giggle sometimes. How I keep dreaming and wishing that I had my own loving partner, and it's just ever more and more absurdist, especially as I get older. It's really quite comical. Yesterday was a productive and happy day. I had an urge to spring clean, so cleaned my kitchen windows, then washed and polished the hutch and all the ornaments on it. Epic. Crystal visited with Ramon Rabbit. Jared came to meet him too. Even my neighbours brought their toddler over to see him. I got to bunny sit while Crystal was at rehearsal. Then I drove them both home. Today when I get up, I intend to clean the floors and finish dusting and polishing the kitchen. Man, I must have had some good drugs because I never want to mop the floors or dust and polish. Eek. Anyway. Got out of bed with a bad back. Took painkillers, potted in the garden. Babysat Harvey. Jared arrived later to pick him up, inspired me to plant out my blueberry bushes. So I did. I had to dig a big hole in hard ground. More painkillers. Planted out some old sunflower seeds. Not sure if they will germinate, but worth a try. Now resting but sore. Oh well, spring fever has energized me into mania. Awesome. Oh, that explains all the frickin' cleaning then, doesn't it? I will have a clean house, flourishing garden, and hopefully new life or a promise of one. 13th of August 2011. A quote by Sir Francis Bacon. Imagination was given to man to compensate him for what he is not, a sense of humour to console him for what he is. So true. Lucky I was blessed with a bloody black sense of humour because I failed to imaginate a better life. 13th of August 2010. I have reached new depths of physical exhaustion after a week of mad activity, digging gardens, wire brushing chairs, moving Crystal's house yesterday, which was epic, but we worked marvellously as a team. Crystal, Courtney, my ex, and I. Not my ex-husband, but my ex-boyfriend of 5 years. I was in agony as I put my... Yeah, it's interesting, he dumped me not long after that. Oh well. I was in agony as I put my back out from all the digging 2 days before, lol. Today I did more wire brushing and painted one chair. Looks great. Still have weed spraying to do. Oi. Got out of bed with a bad back, took painkillers, potted in the garden. I've already written that. Dear Goddess, why is that repeated back in 2010? So maybe that was the original one. Right, have to edit that out. Anyway, so that's a boo-boo that will have to be fixed ASAP. So thus concludes today's readings of Even Date. And what can I tell you, people of Earth? It's not really a beautiful day. It's grey and miserable. But the rain is very, very precious and greatly needed and much appreciated. So I'm trying to stay happy and positive about that. And I'm told by Lynn yesterday it's going to rain for the rest of the week, which maybe it will, maybe it won't. But either way, it is what it is. It's not under my control. So I just accept it and move on. And anyway, wherever you are in the space-time continuum, be happy, be love, be joyful, surround yourself with good, kind people so you have a wonderful, beautiful life, and immerse yourself in your own creativity, whatever skills or abilities you have, and rejoice and be your unique awesomeness. And I'm going to carry on being my unique awesomeness. And together we build a life on this beautiful blue marble planet. big agape love to you all. Bye for now from Sacred Space, Titania's realm. Take good care.